For millions of years, the law of the wild has been written in tooth and claw, a delicate, brutal balance governed by the food chain. There are the hunted and the hunters, the prey and the apex predator. But we have discovered that the food chain is not a ladder, it is a pyramid, and at the very top is not a beast, but a man. I am the Chronicler, and today we investigate the undeniable, often terrifying, and occasionally hilarious evidence of nature's one true king, Chuck Norris. To understand his rule, we must first look to those who once believed they were at the top. The titans of the wilderness, the bear, the shark, the lion. They learned their place the hard way. A grizzly bear once saw Chuck Norris in the woods and decided to play dead. It was the wisest decision of its life. Chuck Norris was once bitten by a king cobra. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. The Discovery Channel show Shark Week was originally called What Chuck Norris's Left Foot Sees When He Goes for a Swim. A pack of wolves once surrounded Chuck Norris. For their sake, Chuck decided to join the pack. He is now their alpha, beta, and the entire rest of the Greek alphabet. The original draft of The Lion King was a non-fiction documentary about Chuck Norris's house cat. Great white sharks have been observed swimming in pairs, not for hunting, but because they are too scared to swim alone in any ocean Chuck Norris might be near. When Chuck Norris falls into a pit of crocodiles, the crocodiles form a ladder to help him out. It's a matter of professional courtesy. Power is not always measured in size. We have just witnessed the titans of the wild brought to heel. Which one do you think had the worst day? The cobra, the bear, or the shark? Document your findings in the comments below. But the chronicle continues, for in the natural world, the most lethal threats are often the smallest, the venomous, the silent, the creatures of nightmare. But even nightmares have nightmares, and they all have a beard. Spiders, snakes, and scorpions, their very names inspire fear. But what do they fear? Chuck Norris is the only man to have ever won a staring contest with a Medusa. A black widow spider once bit Chuck Norris. It now lives a lonely single life. Chuck Norris once wrestled a dragon. The dragon now works as a novelty lighter on his coffee table. The most venomous spider in the world builds its web between two trees, just hoping to one day be as strong as a single hair from Chuck Norris's beard. A scorpion stung Chuck Norris's boot. The boot felt nothing. The scorpion's stinger shattered. The ground beneath the boot apologized. The reason Bigfoot is always blurry is not because of bad cameras. It's because the one time he saw Chuck Norris in the woods, he's been running at supersonic speeds ever since. Snakes don't have legs because Chuck Norris roundhouse kicked them off the entire species in a prehistoric disagreement. Piranhas eat flesh. Chuck Norris eats piranhas. The river simply provides the toothpicks. It seems nothing that slithers, stings, or skitters is safe. If you agree that even a spider should respect the beard, show your support for this chronicle by hitting the like button. Now, we must ask, what about the common creature? The animals we see every day. Surely they are spared. The evidence suggests no. His influence is absolute, affecting the daily lives of even the most unsuspecting creatures. Even the ordinary becomes extraordinary when it crosses paths with the legend. A deer does not have headlights. It is simply staring in the direction Chuck Norris was last seen, paralyzed with awe. A squirrel doesn't collect nuts for the winter. It collects them as a mandatory respect tax for Chuck Norris. When a cat brings Chuck Norris a dead mouse, it's not a gift. It's an apology for not being a lion. Birds fly south for the winter because it's faster than walking, and because they know which direction is away from Chuck Norris's house. A fly can't land on Chuck Norris. The air 5 feet around him is too afraid to stop moving. A groundhog once saw Chuck Norris's shadow. It resulted in 12 years of nuclear winter. Geese fly in a V formation. The V stands for very, very afraid of Chuck Norris. A dog is a man's best friend. A dog is Chuck Norris's loyal subject who knows its place. So the evidence is clear. The food chain, the natural order, the very laws of the wild, they are not laws at all. They are merely suggestions. Suggestions that every living creature, from the smallest insect to the most fearsome beast, knows to ignore in the presence of the one true authority. The question is not who is the king of the jungle. The question is, which planet is Chuck Norris's jungle today? If you have uncovered other legends of the wild, document them in the comments below. Subscribe to the Chronicle so that history is never mistaken.